So global markets are crashing today.
Even in Korea, we call it Black Monday.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to be calling that same in USA, Black Monday. I wouldn't be shocked. We already had a couple big days down, Thursday, Friday, and then over the weekend, essentially the Trump people are trying to defend, this whole tariff thing. But
How can you defend? Whole world is melting right now.
so the way that they defend it is they basically just lie.
Pain in the market. At some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I mean, I think it's I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something, and we have such a horrible. We have been treated so badly by other countries.
When there's a crash, I hope it's going to be during this next 12 months. Because I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. The one president, I just don't want to be Herbert Hoover.
Are any questions?
How was the golf tournament?
Very good, because I won. It's good to win. You heard I won, right? Did you hear I won?
Yeah.
Just to back it up, over there, I won.
What's your handicap
I like
these
to
days?
win very low. I have a very low handicap.
So it's just basically their defense. They just lie and just make stuff up. Now we're blaming it on shrimp in Vietnam.
What?
But we have to change course. We cannot continue to do the same thing. It's like playing football. If you keep running the ball up the middle and you're not getting any traction, you got to start throwing the ball. That's what President Trump's doing. He's a businessman. He's the first president that's really stood up and say enough of other countries ripping us off. Just in my state of Alabama, catfish farmers are going under because Vietnam is dumping billions of trash catfish and shrimp into our state.
Yeah.
How could you blame the shrimp Vietnam?
Well, if your supporters, I guess, all want to work in the shrimping industry, like Bubba Gump, in the movie Forrest Gump, I guess everyone in America is going to become shrimp farmers now, or do we call it farmer or shrimp fisherman? I guess what's that?
Do you even have a shrimp farming in USA?
Yeah, so that's the discussion would be basically Trump wants to roll everything back because he keeps promising people jobs, right? So if we're blaming Vietnamese shrimpers, then does that mean we want to be now American shrimpers and that's our future? Like that's been their discussion, and people are making jokes of if your argument now is they were talking about catfish and shrimp, it's not a very good argument.
You can't even argue with that.
Catfish and shrimp. Our problem, guys, is catfish and shrimp. But the other joke was, well, at least we're not eating the cats and dogs. And other people were like, well, you could go eat a Tesla. We had the big protests over the weekend, and essentially people are mad.
Should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
We
gotta do something.
Well, the sort of the title of the protest was called "Hands Off." So people are like, hands off our money, hands off Social Security.
No,
all these things. What's that?
Hands off the president.
Whose hands off the president?
Trump. Hands off.
Oh, hands off.
It.
Okay, so this is a couple scenarios that people have been asking me about. We had a situation in Korea where the Korean President Yoon tried to do a martial law, right? So basically, Yoon wanted to do martial law because people weren't following his orders, essentially, right?
So we impeach him.
Right. And then actually arrested the guy, and then the final decision was just announced, and he's going to go through criminal trials. I mentioned this because there's kind of the rumor, if you want to go down the rumor mill, would be Trump gets so mad that the whole country starts, protesting against him, and then he tries to do some sort of martial law kind of thing. I wouldn't be shocked at this point if that's sort of where we're going.
But
because what's that?
If this happened, the generals, they saw the Korea case.
Oh, it should be.
They shouldn't follow.
Yeah, so this is for anyone in the USA. If you're working with Trump people, do not follow an illegal order, right? Follow your conscience and the morals and serve the American people. What's that?
Yeah, at the moment, if you don't follow Trump's order, he's firing you. But, it's gonna go.
And that's referring to the lawyer that doesn't want to do all the deportations or legal ones that Trump wants to do. But it's not just regular people that are fighting back against Trump with the mass protests. A lot of business leaders are now calling out Trump.
Well, first of all, of course, measure is the wrong word because that suggests some quantification, which is impossible. There's nothing to measure. But how do you gauge? How do you think about the changes? And, you know, this is the biggest change in the environment that I've seen probably in my career. You know, we've gone from free trade or world trade and globalization to this system which implies significant restrictions on trade in every direction and a step toward isolation for the United States. I believe that the last 80 years since World War II have been the best economic period in the history of mankind, and one of the major reasons was the growth of trade.
Basically, they're like, why are we doing this? Can you like stop? You know, please, like that kind of stuff.
Why. There's no reason actually, right? Just only for Trump.
Yeah, I mean that's because if people are curious, like what's Trump's end game? I mean, his real end game is just put more money in his pocket, right?
And you know, build more golf course and result.
Yeah. So his idea is like I'll have, from Trump's point of view, is I'll have all these countries come and negotiate. And I'll say, okay, if I can build a golf course in your country, then or build a hotel, then okay, no tariffs for you. That's what he's trying to do. Or he's trying to do some sort of grift, where like, hey, if you come, you know, give us a bunch of money, build a factory, whatever, you know, give me 10%, some stupid thing. The interesting thing about this though is that which country, I guess there's 50 on the phone at the White House. They're all calling to try to make some, you know, whatever tariff deal, whatever they're gonna make. Which country do you think he talks to first?
Israel.
Yeah. That was reported by the Wall Street Journal today. Israel's the first country that they're going to be talking to. So there's that. They actually also took questions. It was on ABC of like, why aren't we putting tariffs on Russia, right? And they just dodge basically. Their answer was, oh, we're in negotiations of a war, and so you know, blah, blah, blah. Like it was a weak answer because they don't. Yeah.
Excuse.
And then you're probably curious, what is Elon doing today? What's he doing?
He's playing game. There's babies crying.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He just keeps clicking.
So if you're curious what life is like as supposed, you know, richest guy and supposed smartest guy in the world, he's literally playing video games while people are crying.
Before you go, can you just get into my letter? Adventuring. Honey cookie. I didn't hear the magic word.
Yeah, but you can play game, but you know, he has 14 kids.
14 kids?
He has multiple, you know, big companies. And maybe he has a lot of trust that, you know, the all of the White House employees says, you know, even the news, you know, they say he wants to leave in like 2 months, right?
Well, that's okay. So some people have asked about this situation. Okay, so in Musk's position, he's a special government employee. I think you're only supposed to have these people on. What's that?
Even special
You see how special is he, right? Who knows what he is? But he's supposed to have a 130-day limit, supposed to something like that. But they can extend it whatever they want to do. So what's that?
No one wants him to, you know.
Oh, well, so that's where the interesting debate is like, okay, if Tesla stock goes down, Elon has no more wealth. Okay, so if you really want to hurt Elon, hurt the stock. Because people are saying like, well, no one wants him, but if he's got wealth to kind of influence things, they don't like him, but you know, he's still got money to throw around. But if he's got no money to throw around and people don't like him, there's no way. And then maybe the strategy for Trump then after that would just be blame it all on Elon. It's all Elon's fault. Now that we got Elon in the White House, you know, then we're going to be winning. They were actually tweeting out that America's winning today.
What?
Yeah, the White House was like, we're all winning, guys. So, yeah, exactly, right? And then I think Trump supposedly...
Well, maybe
what's that?
Elon won the game.
Oh yeah, it could be. Elon's really good at video games. He's winning, and then I guess Trump theoretically is winning at golf. Although this is a true story. I can't remember which one it was. You guys can remind me who it was, but there were politicians coming out saying like, you know, when we played golf with Trump, that Trump would cheat at golf. So seriously, you know, because you know you can like lie in your scorecard.
And, you know, change your balls.
Yeah, you whatever he's up to. The same way that Elon cheats at games. That's who these people are. Elon cheats at games by paying people to play games for him.
They don't care even their family.
Yeah. And then now we have to deal with penguin memes. That's been the recent thing. What's going on with the penguin memes?
Trump needs to negotiate tariffs with penguins.
Yeah, negotiate the tariff for the penguin.
And penguins were burning Tesla.
Yeah. So you gotta watch out for those penguins. The penguins are also plotting to poop on the Tesla. So, you know, if you guys don't know, the joke is when the tariffs first came out, and I pointed to you guys, there's like all these different like islands listed on the list. And there was one, it was the McDonald's Island thing, and there's no one lives there except for penguins.
Yeah, and penguin teaches seagull that
Yeah.
it's going to happen to you next time.
Better watch out. And then there was even a meme going down where like the penguins are diving. It's like the American stock market's diving. We make jokes on this stuff, but I do understand this is real people's lives on the line. And I think they're really after your Social Security. I mean, we've known this for a while, and they just keep emphasizing like how they're going to do it. The most recent thing is like they're going to want to cut paper checks for all government things. So like maybe like your tax refund or your Social Security, these kind of things. And so the question would be just, for example, we were talking about this. Do you think your grandma could handle going all digital? Your grandma?
Not even my grandma, even my father.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't know how to translate money with his phone.
Yeah.
He has to go to ATM.
Yeah. So and your dad's not alone.
Yeah.
You know, you're a lot of people's grandparents and parents out there like that. What's that?
Maybe some American doesn't have bank accounts.
Yeah, that's a big one.
They're really far from the city.
Yeah. So when this is serious. Like legally, they're however you want to say it, they're not supposed to touch your money, basically, right? But if they can make it so it's really hard to get your money, right? That's how they're gonna get. That's how they're gonna cut it by saying, okay, we're only doing digital, and then people are gonna have a hard time, giving them the numbers because okay, right? Well, sometimes some people don't have a bank account. Like I don't even have a bank account number. So what are you talking about? Another scenario: older people could be like physically just not able to get to the office that easily.
Yeah.
Like getting your grandma to the office. Her grandma. How old's your grandma now? Do you know?
She's 88.
88. Yeah. She has a hard time walking now. It's just people get old, right? And so like such of your grandma, because Elon will say, oh, all these people are fake and fraudulent. You have to come to the office. For some people, it's not that convenient. They're closing offices. There's long lines now at the offices because people are, have problems.
Probably they're gonna close the office soon.
Oh, sure. That's what I said. Yeah. And so like I said, what they're gonna do is they're gonna play games with you guys on getting your money is what it is. And they'll come up with all sort of like the phone. Maybe they'll shut down the phone lines and stuff like that. Everyone knows this. It happens to a lot of people. You go to these offices. And like say the DMV or whatever government, and you bring all your paperwork, and they'll say, "Well, your paperwork's not good enough.
Yeah, so
you got to come back again."
It happens a lot.
Oh, sure.
A lot.
Sure. Even if like a government's like doing things the right way, it still happens. So imagine if like they're purposely cutting staff and making the requirements harder for people, right? There's going to be all kinds of chaos. There was someone in the comment community. They said they're from Canada and they worked like in this kind of situation where you go from paper to digital. Like the sentiment, I understand why you would do it, but you have to institute it in a way that makes sense. You have to spend money on doing it. And they're doing the opposite. Like they're cutting staff, cutting funding, and then they're saying, "Oh, we're going to convert everything to digital." Like it's a recipe for disaster. And so that's why I completely understand when people say, have these rumors of like Trump is crashing the market on purpose kind of thing. Now, playing that scenario out, if it turns out all his buddies, shorted the market ahead of time,
and I guess that after they short, Trump says, haha, I'm so generous, tariff's going to zero, so every market's going up, then they buy
right.
bottom, it's gonna go up.
So the idea would be
money double, right?
Because they would do the trades right before Trump's announcement. It'd be like totally insider trading. So that's how that would work if you guys are curious on that. So Just want to give you an update of what's going on. Again, it's not just USA. Markets are crashing all around the world. It's in Asia. China's staying strong as well. I just saw the news on that. And we'll see how this plays out. That's what's up. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. So, bye.
Bye.